All right, so in the previous video, we essentially turned on our lamps, indicating that there's power on each of the three different phases. What I'd like to do next is essentially to power this motor. Okay. Now, one thing that we need to take a second and look at is this motor has different windings. It can be operated at several different voltages, and so we need to make sure that I connect those internal windings correctly. Okay. Where's that information at? It's essentially right here on the nameplate. Okay. And so we can see that there are some wiring connections for low voltage. There are some connections for high voltage, and let's see. Well, essentially, oh, here we go. Here's the voltage settings. Okay, so it's got 208 to 230, and so essentially that is the low voltage settings for this motor. And then 460. I don't have my glasses on. 460, and some other higher voltages here. All right. So what we want to do is we're going to use the 208 setting. That's low voltage. Okay. So now we need to look back over here now that we know that we're going to operate this thing in a low voltage mode. All right. So here that is. Okay, so there's several connections on this motor, and what we're connecting are the internal windings. We'll do more with those later, but for now we're just going to connect things up. Okay, and so T4 is going to connect to T5, is going to connect to T6, T1 is going to connect to T7, and then a line of power is going to come in there. T8 is going to connect to T2, and a line of power is going to come in there, and T9 is going to connect to T3, and then power is going to come in there. Okay, so let's work on making those connections. First, T4, 5, and 6. All right, so we're making the motor connections, connecting these motor windings. So we're just going to jumper T4 to T5 and T5 T6. All right, and so we've completed that first line. All right, now also we want to connect T1 and T7. Okay. T7 is underneath here. That's that location, and that connects to T1. Okay. We're going to connect T8 again underneath to T2, and I'm going to connect T9 again underneath to T3. All right, so this essentially just connects, like I said, the internal windings on this motor the way that we want it to operate for low voltage mode. All right, so I need to bring power to the motor windings. Okay. And so we could grab it, I guess, on either end of this piece of wire. But I'm going to grab it over here at the T location. Here's T3. When the contactor provides power, it's going to do it right there. And where's that connect? Right here to T3. Okay. And here's T2. Where's that connect? Right here to T2. And here is T1. Where's that go? Right here to T1. Okay. All right, so we already did our test as far as lighting the lights up. The only thing that we've added is the motor wiring, and so we should be positioned to give this thing a spin. All right, so let's unlock. All right, I'm ready to provide power. I'm ready to provide power. Obviously nothing's happened yet, but we're working with our manual motor starter. So let's turn it to the on position. Okay. Obviously we have lights and the motor is running. Okay. So that is our just basic equipment checkout. Okay. Back to the off position. Back to the off position. Back to the off position. All right. So that's a basic circuit. We're going to obviously build in complexity from there.